Spies in Disguise is a film that follows two characters, Walter Beckett and Lance Sterling, and they go on an adventure together to bring down a supervillain. But what makes this adventure really exciting is they're two very different people. They're polar opposites. One's a super spy and one's a super nerd. And the super spy is turned into a pigeon, and the super nerd, which is me, I always seem to play the nerd, has to kind of step up and help him save the day and learn to be a spy. Walter is a really happy-go-lucky kid. He's really positive. He's really, really excited about sort of using his brain to do good and to like make a difference in his workplace. And then is really excited by the idea of a challenge and a mission and going into the... Sterling, he's a super spy. He is the James Bond. He is the Ethan Hunt of our world that we've created. And he is as cool as any character can be, but he is a flawed character in a sense that he has trouble letting people in and being close to people, and I think that's partly because he works in such a dangerous environment. He doesn't want to be close to people in case he loses someone. And what Walter helps him do is realize that life is better when you have someone. So opening up and being friendly with people is much better than closing yourself in and pushing people away. What Will does so great is just bring such enthusiasm and such a sort of effervescent energy to the character, which is so infectious. And you just can't help but laugh at everything he says, especially when he's a pigeon, because Will has such a recognizable voice. Like, if you played a short clip of him, you'd go, oh, that's Will Smith. And seeing Will Smith as a pigeon is just really funny. It's really, really great. Lance is obviously so into action and beating people up and fighting and being a super spy, whereas Walter is very much more the guy who wants to help people and, yes, get the job done, but do it in a way with no casualties, and he has this one device called the kitty glitter, which basically explodes glitter everywhere and is supposed to calm people down to the point where they don't want to do bad stuff anymore, whereas Lance just wants a grenade. So it's quite fun to see the banter back and forth between Will and I, where we're arguing about using a grenade or oil slick or kitty glitter or the inflatable hug, like all these different amazing kind of quirky gadgets. So it's a lot of fun. That scene when he changes was actually really intimidating to shoot, because I was listening to Will's audio, and obviously in that scene he's going crazy, and all of my stuff has to be like, the final stage, and I have to do all these like crazy different voices, and I was actually really embarrassed when we were recording that scene, but it's turned out so great, and I'm really proud of it. Ben Mendelson, yeah, he's a cool guy, man. I have met him when I was a kid. He probably won't remember. I was very, very young. But I've always been a fan of his, you know, and I was really, really chuffed when I found out that he was going to play the villain. Obviously, him and I have kind of worked together in the Spider-Man world. But yeah, no, I just think he brought a really, really menacing quality to our villain, and definitely raised the stakes for our two heroes. The hardest thing I find in acting is laughing. Like, I can cry all day. If you ask me to cry, fine, I'll cry all day. But ask me to like have a hysterical laughing fit, I just can't do it. And in this film there was loads of moments where they wanted me to laugh, and what we ended up doing is I just actually found something really funny, laughed my ass off for like 2 minutes, and they were like, everyone was like, shh, shh, shh. And then they just use that all the time whenever Walter's laughing. I really like the scene in the lift where I try and convince him to listen about my idea for the biodynamic concealment. I think that's a really funny scene, because it's just a really poor kid, like really trying to make a difference and really like looking up to his hero, and his hero shoots him down. And what's so nice about that scene is it's such a full circle moment when they become best buds and a teammate. So it's a nice sort of tee off to start the relationship. I love that it teaches a good message to young kids, you know, like it's teaching the idea that violence isn't the answer, and friendship is more important than anything, really. So I just think it's a good film for kids to watch and feel enlightened by certain stuff in the world, but also just feel like they have a friend, like Tom Holland and Will Smith we're friends and they're our friends, you know? The unexpected benefits of being a pigeon. You could fly, that would be super helpful. You can see 360, you can see UV light, we found out. They can see in slow motion. What else can pigeons do? They're always in a flock. You never see a pigeon by himself. He's always got loads of mates. else is good about being a pigeon? I guess you'd have a headache all the time though from doing that. And you also are a bit gross. Pigeons are a bit rats with wings. But there are some nice pigeons. Where my grandparents live, I broke my heart recently when I found out that what I'd been hearing all my life wasn't actually owls. It was pigeons. I thought they're like outside my grandparents' house was owls, and I've been telling everyone for years, like, oh yeah, they have owls everywhere, but it's not. They're just pigeons.